Hey folks, welcome back. I'm not sure what I'm going to title this one, but it should be it should be something not so nice. Now let me tell you something, folks. If if you run to the doctors for every scratch, every scrape, everything that is minor, or something that you don't feel that you could treat yourself or wait out, right? Now, doctors have a purpose. Doctors have a purpose to treat you, right? Now, I'm not a doctor. As the old TV commercial used to say, I don't even play one on TV, folks, right? But I almost guarantee that the doctor doesn't want to see you for a minor scrape, unless it's getting infected, right? Then they might want to see you. If you come down with a headache and you go to the doctor, they'll ask you a few questions, right? And they'll ask you how long you had the headache, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, they might prescribe you something that will take the headache away. They might. But most of the time, they're just going to say, go home and go get some rest, drink some water, eat good, take care of yourself, and move on, right? Now, I don't know that, but I would assume that they don't want to see you if you can treat it yourself, right? So where I'm going with that is my eye, all right? Now, last Thursday, today is Tuesday, so it's been 5 days. I am assuming that if I was going to get an infection, folks, that it probably would have sat in already. So there is no goop, there is no gunk. It hurts. It does. I'm going to admit that it hurts, but nothing that ibuprofen, Tylenol isn't taking care of. I can manage it. I'm still putting the salve in there, and it stopped watering. It just doesn't look very pretty. Okay? You know how many I have been avoiding trying to look people in the eyes because I don't want them to talk about it. I don't want them to say, you need to go to the doctor. How come you didn't go to the doctor, and scold me, right? Well, first of all, I was in the healthcare field for a long time, and I have half a brain, folks, and I like to think I'm pretty rational and reasonable, right? If I started seeing gunk and goop, then there's two things I could do. I know which one I would do. I've got some antibiotics that I keep on stock, right? And no, they're not outdated, and no, they were not prescribed to me, so you read between the lines there, and I didn't take them from somebody, and no one got them for me. Okay, I bought them myself. So, if I thought I was getting infected, I would start myself on a regimen of antibiotics. That's what I would do. Now, if I thought it was more than I could reasonably handle, and my eye was getting blurry and all this stuff, then I might go to see a doctor. But I'm not going to go see a doctor if it's something that I feel that I can take care of myself, right? So, you know, I don't know where people are and their thoughts on that. But when you do make the mistake and look somebody in the eye and they go, and they stare and they come closer and they come closer. And I had one lady do this to me. Put her hand, I don't know where her finger was, folks. I do not know. It's in a store, so I guarantee it wasn't as clean and just sterilized, right? And she had the audacity to come over and do that and look it all over and said, you need to get to a doctor. And I said, well, no, I don't. No, I don't. It looks pretty bad. It really does. It looks pretty bad. And just like a sore thumb, you can see that a mile away. But there's no infection, folks. I can see pretty good out of it. I can see really good out of it, folks. And it's all good. It is all good. So if you run to the doctor for every little scrape and I think I have C19, I've got to go to the doctor, even though the home tests have said, you don't have it. And you go to the doctor because apparently the doctor has different tests than you do, right? So I'm not really sure about that. But I know a lot of people who do that. The home tests say I don't have it. I'm going to go to the doctor to prove those home tests wrong. Well, guess what? They don't have it, folks. You know how many people I have heard that story from. So, but if you're sick, you're sick. No different than a cold, no different than a flu. You die from both, and it doesn't matter what the title is of what you've got, right? It just doesn't matter, folks. So anyway, please don't go up to somebody and take your hand and lower their eyelid, and examine it. One, because you're probably not a nurse, and two, you're probably not a doctor, and three, you're probably not an optometrist, right? Optometrist. Eye doctor. I don't know, folks. So, let people make their own decisions. You can suggest maybe you should see a doctor about that, but if you've got a handle on it, which I know I do, then leave me the hell alone, folks. But it just cracks me up, because what's going to happen if the shit hits the fan, you are not able to get to a doctor, or you cannot afford to go to a doctor, or a doctor doesn't live next door to you, you're going to have to learn how to do the best you can and treat yourself, and you're not going to be running for every scrape, bruise, or broken finger, or blister. You know, you need to take care of it, folks. You need to flush any wound that you get. You need to wash it with warm soap and water. Clean, warm soap and water. You need to put any, like, triple antibiotic, A&D ointment, bag balm, anything like that. You need to put that on there, and you need to cover it up, right? That's just basic first aid, folks. A punctured eye. Honestly, when I've scratched my eye before, it hurt a lot worse, right? I was more worried about that than a puncture in the eye. It sounds backwards, but that's just the way it is, because I know I treated this like as fast as I could, and I treated it right. I got right on top of it, and I've been taking care of it, and it is healing, even though it really it really doesn't look good, folks. There's a great big whatever down there. But it looks worse than it is, alright? And every day that goes by, it looks worse, but it feels better. I do not have a fever. It's not infected. There's no goop and gunk coming from it. It is good. But what's going to happen to these people that have to run to the store because they think they broke their finger or they think they broke their toe? Okay, I can see it if your finger was severed. I could see it if it was twisted right off sideways and it won't stop bleeding. I could see it if you broke it and it was a really deep gouge and you were in some really nasty stuff. Like if I broke it and cut it while I was in knee deep in chicken coop, I might be a little concerned about that, right? And rusty anything is really, really, really not good, right? So I knew there was a time factor there to rinse it out and everything. If you think you've had a heart attack or a stroke, or something isn't right up here, or you haven't changed anything in your diet and life seems to be good, and you haven't drank any mysterious water from a stream, and you've been pooping. I mean, it runs right straight through you for a week, and then there's a couple of concerns there, right? Something might be really physically wrong. You might have a digestive issue. You might have caught a digestive bug, right? You don't want to get dehydrated. You need to You need to do something about that. That's where ammonium AD comes in handy. That's where the BRAT system comes in handy, right? BRAT is B for banana, R for rice, A for applesauce, and T for toast, right? That's a pretty old, simple recipe. BRAT for if you have loose bowels, right? Or you can just take a ammonium AD, right? Or you can just do whatever. You can do whatever. So there's a lot of herbalist stuff out there, and as long as you know what you're doing and you feel confident, you can try that first. But if it's an infection, folks, especially an eye, that's real close to your brain. You don't want any infection to go to your brain or your heart, right? So I'm just saying, these people that need to run to the doctor for every little thing or get confirmation that it's nothing, I don't know what these people are going to do when they cannot get to a doctor, folks. I just don't know what they're going to do. Honestly, I don't know the last time I went to a doctor. I think, in all honesty, the last time I went to a doctor was back when I had my stomach issues, and that was, see, it's 2022. Over 20 years ago, folks. I'm not kidding. Over 20 years ago, when I'm pretty healthy and I'm pretty spry. I might be a little overweight, but I can tell you I'm in pretty good shape. I eat good. I make sure I'm hydrated. I try to sleep good. I know I work too hard, but I know that's part of keeping myself healthy. Because, folks, if you strap me down and I could not move about and get stuff done, then you know what? There's going to be another issue that's going to happen, right? Because this up here says that you need to keep busy, and if I can't keep busy, that's just going to say you need to keep busy, and the anxiety is going to build up, and I hate the feeling of anxiety, folks. I really do. Now, speaking of anxiety, folks, and fear and panic, those words, anxiety, fear, and panic, there seems to be a new thing going around on YouTube that's using those words, anxiety, fear, and panic. Now, folks, I do know that drama sells on YouTube, and the best title is gets the most clicks, and the more clicks you get, the more money you get, and if you keep it dramatic and you keep it entertaining, and then they're going to watch longer, so the more people you get to click and actually watch, the longer they watch, the more money the YouTuber gets, right? Right? So that's why they do that. So the words that are coming out now are panic, anxiety, and fear. If people are that, I'm just going to say it, folks, because I don't know any way else to say anything. That's just not how I feel. If you're going to be all dramatic and it's no business, there's no difference than a salesman. A salesman. Get their attention, try to get them to buy the product, hype it all up. No different. YouTube, no different. Get them to click, get them to watch. The more drama, the better, because that's more money for them, right? It's just a game. It's a game, and it's a money game for them. I am just saying that, and YouTube may or may not like that, and some of the YouTube creators may or may not like that, but as you notice, I'm not very dramatic on here. I'm just not dramatic. There's just nothing about me that's dramatic, folks. As you can tell, some of my videos are a little boring. Just ask a few people. They think they're pretty boring. Because I'm not. I could get all dramatic. I could get all dramatic. I don't like being dramatic, but I could get all dramatic if I was doing this. If I had this YouTube channel because I wanted to make money, and I didn't have much of a conscience, then I could make this so dramatic and fear-mongering and be judgmental and get all red in the face and yell and demean people. I could probably make a whole lot more money, right? But I want to sleep at night, folks. I want to sleep, and I want to sleep knowing that I was a good person that day. That's just how I look at that. So anyway, this is 17 minutes long of, well, I guess I did complain a little bit, folks, so I apologize for that, but I'm just telling it like it is, folks. You know, I'm not perfect either, but I'm not going to make some big dramatic entrance in this video or any other video. I'm just not going to do that unless I'm having fun, right? So y'all have good, y'all be good, y'all have a good night, and I've got to tend to my birds and get a little sleep tonight, right? So y'all be good, you all take care of yourself, you learn those skills, you look for the signs for where you feel that you need to go to the doctor. You don't mess around with the heart, you don't mess around with up here, right? You don't do any of those. You don't mess around too much with the digestive system, right? So you don't mess around with severed anything, right? So, you know, just be smart about it, be smart, and that's where some of the skills will come in handy. Do not panic. Do not panic. Panic does not do anybody any good. And when people panic, folks, they are irrational, and they're not thinking clearly and slowly and methodically, right? They're letting the fear get the best of them, and that could do more harm than good, okay? So you all have a good night, and thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Good night.